Shrout throws to the end zone. Leaping crab is made in the end zone. Touchdown! Touchdown, Colorado! Jordan Tyson a strike at 23 yards. That's a big-time throw and a big-time catch. Well, the Colorado Buffaloes opened up the 2022 season with a 38-13 loss to TCU. That was the one touchdown they had late. A couple of young players, kind of exciting. J.T. Shrout the throw, Jordan Tyson the catch. Voice of the bus, Mark Johnson, Coach Gary Barnett. We had the radio call, of course, in the Colorado Football Network. All right, tale of two halves. Tough to swallow. Give us your thoughts on this one.
Well, first half was a lot of fun, Mark. I mean, you know, these guys are young. They have 18 seniors and no juniors and 90 underclassmen. And so it was fun to see all that energy and see them trying to fly around. They weren't always doing the right things, but, you know, they scored 2 field goals, probably should have kicked a field goal on the first drive. But, you know, it was all Colorado. They were out running around, acting like they're really having fun, excited. Second half, you know, I think it was a great job of coaching and adjusting by Sonny Dykes and his group. I mean, they came out with a plan, and you saw it right away. And you know, they spread us out, blocked us. They had a blocker for every one of our defenders, and there were seams, and we didn't get off blocks. And all of a sudden, the game takes a completely different turn.
This is the thing when you're inexperienced, and again, 90 of the 115 guys, as Coach points out here, are underclassmen on this team. You learn at this level very quickly because everyone's really good and everyone coaches very well, and you learn that you get exposed very quickly. And that's a lesson this team learned tonight.
They sure did. And you're playing a veteran team here. Yeah. You know, this team isn't going to panic. They weren't going to go, oh, no, we're losing at halftime or it's close.
Yeah.
No. They didn't, and the coaches did a great job of adjusting. Players did a good job of executing, and they were a much better football team than us in the second half.
All right, the offense was very up and down, obviously, in this ballgame. We saw both quarterbacks. Brendan Lewis came out, did some nice things, some not so nice things. J.T. Shrout came out, same thing, did some nice things, had some nice throws. We thought it saw the touchdown. Did some things where maybe leaving the pocket a little bit too early at different times. When number 5 came out there was a spark, though. I didn't imagine that, did I? I mean, when he came out there was a spark.
No, there was, and you could feel it in the stadium, even up there where we were. And he just did things faster, and he made plenty of mistakes, but he threw the football. He got rid of it, and I think that's what people think quarterbacks do.
Yeah.
And so I think they got enamored with him a little bit, and you know, he certainly isn't afraid to throw the ball, and he isn't afraid to make a mistake.
Yeah, he certainly wasn't. You know, like I said, the only touchdown this ball game threw for 157 yards through the air as the Buffaloes lose 38-13. After the ball game, we heard from head coach Carl Darrell.
You know, we played decently in the first half. I felt obviously it was a 7-6 game. We felt offensively we still had a lot of stuff to continue to move and improve on going into the second half. And I think defensively, we felt just as good. We felt we needed to shore up a few things, but apparently they made better adjustments than we did, you know, in the second half. We've had some challenges with the things that they were doing, the quarterback run game and some other things that they were doing. And unfortunately for us, we didn't quite get those executed properly to help us. You know, we were trying to do the right things and trying to stay in the game, but unfortunately we couldn't stop what they were doing. And then, you know, with the rhythm offensively, we seemed to not catch rhythm quite as well as we should have. You know, really haven't caught rhythm the whole game if you think about it. Even in the first half with the field goals, we did some positive things, but it wasn't like it was a seamless operation. So first game, you know, we have a lot of work to fix and improve on, and there's a lot of players playing, and you know, that's kind of what we understood that. That's not an excuse, and we just have to get better.
There's head coach of the Buffaloes, Carl Darrell, after the Buffaloes season opening loss to TCU 38-13. We continue with Coach Gary Barnett. All right, we talked about quarterbacks beforehand. Now you're Carl Darrell and his staff. You got to evaluate things because you got an awful tough game coming up next week down at Air Force. How do you kind of approach this week with those two?
Well, I think you have a real serious talk with Mike Sanford.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, how does he feel about this thing? Because Mike, this is the first time he's coached either one of those two. He's probably more objective in this situation than someone who's been around. And so, you know, I think you enlist his opinion, and then you take that in consideration, and you understand you hired him to to make these kinds of moves and these decisions, and you probably ought to listen to him. But I don't know what they're going to do. No, you don't want to lose either one of them. Both played decently at times, and both made mistakes.
Yeah.
But there's no question that there was a spark of enthusiasm in the crowd, at least, that we could see when JT came in.
Now, not just an offensive issue. There are plenty of issues on the defensive side that got to be addressed by Chris Wilson this week as well.
No question. But, some of those questions, you're not going to fix them overnight.
Right.
I mean, in the scrimmages that I watched, we struggled tackling in the secondary. That didn't go away tonight, and that's not going to go away anytime soon. It's a youth issue, for one thing. That's the biggest issue. But you lost 3 guys from back there, one of which lined up against you and made about 5 tackles tonight.
Yep.
So you lose that. You lose all that experience, and now you're putting guys out there that are tackling big-time players all of a sudden by themselves.
There's an old line that says that the best thing about a freshman is become sophomores, right? They get a little older and get some experience. They got an awful tough one next week. They got to go down to Colorado Springs, the academy, and take on Air Force next week. And we know what Troy Calhoun and the Falcons do running the football. Should be interesting. We'll go and take a time out here on the Buffalo Stampede. Coming up next, the contributing editor of CUBus.com, Neil Welk, will join us.